Hello, everyone, and welcome back to WaWa's Bootcamp Community Event Amateur Rising. And hey, guys, we are in the best part of the day. You know why? We are here in the finals, where Team Moose and Reformed are going to be going after each other for the finals. So I wasn't here for the cast for Reformed. I decided to just do it one more time. I was going to do it the whole time, but I don't think people can take that. But Ham, how are you feeling about their chances here in the final?
It's going to be a really tough call. I mean, Team Moose made it all the way to the finals. Reformed as well. We only were able to catch one of Reformed's games, but they certainly looked very strong, especially with their preferred Junkrat Roadhog duo, or DPS duo. Roadhog certainly counts as one of those these days. And Team Moose relying a lot on the Pharah plays from Phaser, who, you know, he might be a one trick. We have seen some other heroes, but Pharah has definitely been his main standout hero.
Yep. So it goes Pharah and then Junkrat, and then that's pretty much it, I think. He's actually done some good Genji, like a moderately good Genji there. Got some good Dragon Blades, but we have seen Team Moose a lot more here on stream than Reformed. So Reformed's coming in as a little bit of a mystery to us.
Absolutely. They certainly do like to run some pretty heavy tank compositions, if I remember correctly. So Team Moose gonna have to cut through a lot of that beef, but it hasn't proved to be a huge issue for them so far.
Yeah, and our first map that we're gonna go to, I believe, is King's Row. So another great start.
Once more.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
No words need to be spoken. But something I do want to remind you of before we get into these games is our wonderful sponsors. So number one, Visor.gg. Thank you very much. Number two, HyperX. I use your headphones. They're wonderful. And then Origin.gg. All of my work computers are Origin computers, and they're phenomenal. So thank you guys so much. And the other thing that Visor.gg is providing is a $100 payout to what we've decided is the MVP. So that is going to come at you. Going to be one of the last things that you hear from us today. And that's going to be in a bit, because you know why? We actually have more games than usual to play. So the rest of the tournament was best of 3, and now we are in best of 5. And so just like we mentioned before, King's Row will be the first map. First team to 3 will win the $1,250 prize pool that will be split between these two teams. I believe the top one's going to be a little less than that, but it's still going to be cash for esports. Take that, Mom. But coming into this game, I'm really excited to see what Reform is going to be bringing to the table. As we've seen Team Moose, we kind of know their strategy. They're hyper-aggressive. They like that trip tank, and we're going to see it again here as Reform starts on the attack.
That's right. It's going to be some more beefy bodies bashing against each other as Reformed rolls out of spawn on this quadruple tank. Team Moose, they're going triple tank with Phaser on his signature Junkrat, and an early hook in for Smoke and Gun, but the Roadhog, who hooks first, oftentimes the first one to go down, but so far bloodless.
Yeah, and so what's really awesome there was a bubble from Soniti on the Reinhardt, who stepped in front of the hooked Roadhog, but not before Anti-Sork, or way afterwards. Anti-Sork does get a pin on Asamek. It starts the fight. Usually when you get the pin, you start the fight.
There we go, and both of the Reinhardts out for the count, but Reformed, of course, the respawn advantage always favors the attackers at this point, and Smoke and Gun, he has that whole hog ready, and he's gonna find 2, and so he's likely not going to be expending that ultimate. One pig, his bacon's gonna be cooked not too long for this world, as Reformed look ready and poised to take this point.
Yeah, and now Shiplin is going to get a morale kill there at the end, and this is looking good for Reformed. Some good ult economy, actually, from both sides. Well, that was a quick point. It was a pretty scrappy fight. Showed both teams kind of jostling for position, and that momentum, especially attacking first, is so important coming into the second point.
Yeah, and moving into Streets phase, my eye's gonna be on these two Reinhardts, Anti-Sork and Telekinetic, both ready with their Earth Shatters, and this mind game is so important for both of these teams because your Rein is holding your front line. Everything else rests upon his big German shoulders, and Telekinetic, he has been proven to be an extremely aggressive Rein, sometimes overly so.
Yeah.
And so this should be something that Reform will keep an eye on to try and exploit that.
That's definitely something that they can take advantage of. As Telekinetic does it again, he goes for the pin. Oh, high up there, gonna slam the ground, gonna get some air on that. The hammer down comes out. Jolski with the whole hog kill is gonna get Kool-Aid on that Zenyatta, who's actually shown some pretty good metal on that character so far. But the highest Earth Shatter I've seen in weeks comes down and helps the team out. Team Moose, though, is going to get taken back, but Phaser's death from Anal Shipman, and we are going for here in Streets phase, continuing the fight.
Yeah, despite Team Moose picking up a couple of kills over there, Reformed are continuing to put on this pressure. SW is glowing with so much energy here. This Zarya just lasering down the opponents, and now he's going to have a Graviton Surge in his back pocket for his troubles. Team Moose, though, good thing is they still have at least that Transcendence and Telekinetics Earth Shatter down, but he's going to have very big pants to fill to come up against Anti-Sork.
Yep, and so Niti and SWCW are both there with the grab. Another quick take for point two. We've seen that happen a lot and then get stalled here on this very last take, and that is definitely the hardest point to get for the offensive team, but we do have a Graviton available as well as the Earth Shatter. Those two ults have been known to go so well together. The synergy is real, folks. Potato Tot's going to try to make sure that that doesn't happen with that Coalescence. Going to try to heal, and here we go. The Graviton Surge does come out. The Transcendence does as well to try to keep the team alive, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You want to bait out that Transverse, and that's exactly what happens as the Reinhardt guns the Earth Shatter, and the team goes down, and then a second one gets an even bigger Earth Shatter.
Oh my goodness, Telekinetic answering back with just as much force. I think he probably started an earthquake with the amount of bodies he laid down on the ground. However, Jalski is in with this whole hog, blasting away any of the defenders here, and with 4 minutes 30 seconds still in the clock, Reform look poised to take this.
Yeah, so Reformed is going to get taken into the Graviton Surge. No follow-up there. Really good ult from Reformed there to try to get some more time back and get some more movement forward to the last point. Telekinetic going to jump in, drop that bubble, try to defend even harder for that team. He's got to get close to that Primal Rage, and hey, guess what? He's not close at all as he goes down. The point is open, guys. The point is open, and they're going to take it. Not a C9. I don't think the respawns mattered. I'm just going to go ahead and put my foot down on that one right now. But I don't think they stopped the payload.
Goodness gracious, Reform, maybe a little bit of tampering here. Somebody clipped the brakes on that payload because they literally didn't stop at all through their trek on King's Row. And a couple of really great boops from Sky9 as well to take out a couple of the defenders there. And so Reformed with 4 minutes left. They're going to be feeling really good coming into this defense.
Yeah, 4 minutes is an eternity, especially because you can get 2 points if this goes into extra innings. And if they finish it in overtime, Team Moose are only going to be working with 1 minute as well. But Smoke and Gun showing that Widow. We have seen how popular that champion has been for himself because he is getting tons of headshots, but he's going to end up going to Tracer. Caster Curse is real, and it's funny actually. Smoke and Gun seems to go on a pattern of getting double kills, so let's see if that continues going on. And looking at Reformed, what are you thinking?
And Reformed, they're sticking to their guns, man. The Junkrat and Roadhog, which we've seen time and time again from this team, definitely is very solid. And so they'll be defending with this tried and true composition, but they'll have to keep an eye to the sky. Phaser again once picking up this younger Amari. Kool-Aid going to be bringing in his back as well. And so this has been the team comp that Team Moose have used to utterly dismantle their opponents in the past. And so Reformed, I'm not sure if they've been able to get some VOD watching in, unlikely so, but hopefully they'll be able to find a way to combat this where other teams have failed.
It's definitely the role of the coach to do that research even during these tournaments. So hopefully the coach is watching these games and watching some of the VODs. I think you don't need to watch Phaser on every time he's played Pharah, just the times that he's been most effective. And the coach is then going to give that information and hopefully prepare Reformed for what's about to happen because Phaser's Pharah, and we can't underestimate how great Kool-Aid has been with getting Phaser those kills as well.
Kool-Aid has been such an annoying moth in the sky. You're swatting him away and he just doesn't die, and that survivability from a Mercy is a key portion of playing the support well. And already Phaser corralling Reformed behind that hotel. They're taking so much damage. This Rhine shield is cracking already.
And so we keep seeing this. Not one bullet got thrown at the Pharah's way, and that ult is already at 66%. You've got to take care of it. It's working out in the favor of you right now, but that might not be the case next time, as Reformed putting up a really good defense thus far. The person who's not dead yet, who's still getting that ult charge, is that Pharah, as both Mercy and Pharah get really close to getting hooked there.
Oh yeah, Reformed with the perfect rubber band defense, bending but not breaking, absorbing that aggression coming in from Team Moose, and basically the linchpin of the fight was the hook from Jalski onto Telekinetic, roping that Winston in, and with him down, the rest of Team Moose couldn't possibly keep a body on the point.
Yeah, so Tater Tot is going to have Coalescence to keep that team alive. That's going to help combat Phaser's Rocket Barrage there, and the healers are so important in how you attack Phaser. We've seen sound barriers nullify ultimates, and when that doesn't happen, we've seen 5 kills, 4 kills from that Phaser, and he's going to be looking for it now.
He's hungry, he's searching, he wants to pad that KD ratio even more, and Phaser going to be looking for a perfect flanking moment. But it's going to be the tire out first. He's not going to be laying in those rockets yet because he needs to take down Shiftman's tire, and he does so. Now, the barrage coming down, he picks up just one this time around. However, that could be just what his team needs. A smoking gun throws in the pulse bomb as well.
Beautiful work from Phaser, not looking for the multi-man Rocket Barrage, looking for the right Rocket Barrage there on that Lucio, securing the point for his team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was clear what Team Moose's win conditions were. They take down the supports, and the rest of the tanks will fall. You mean, you have all of that HP, but it's really reliant on that consistent healing coming in from the supports, Tater Tot and Sky69.
And Telekinetic started that off with that first kill, jumping into the backline, being the annoying Winston like you're supposed to be, and now with Primal Rage and Valkyrie and soon to be self-destruct, those 3 ults are looking strong. Reformed though, switching over to that 76. We've seen this happen against Phaser to like no effect. It was kind of done well last round, but it still wasn't locking her down. But we know that when Phaser's locked down, the rest of the team might get locked down as well. As the Graviton Surge does come out, Smoking Gun is going to get caught in it with some of the rest of the team. Jalski's going to whole hog, get some boop kills in there as well as Reformed using that Graviton Surge to their advantage and getting the kills.
Jalski is hungry, man, turning Team Moose into sausage with that beautiful Roadhog scrap gun combo there. And now Reformed, they finally found those stabilizing kills. They're going to be able to set up for this next defense. However, Anti-Sorg, he's going to be the only one holding any kind of ultimate, whereas Team Moose sitting pretty with nearly 4.
Yeah, and so one, I want to mention, I love how someone named Ham Tornado is making all of these pork references. That just makes me feel so happy.
It's part of my contract, man.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I wish I had a contract. But anyway, going back here, Smoking Gun gonna get down on Jalski, and we're seeing the opposite of what happened in the last fight. No Graviton Surge, but still a team wipe on the side of Team Moose as their payload gets rocking forward.
Yeah, that's right, Smoking Gun. You spin that pistol. He's been hearing us, fluffing Phaser throughout this series. He wants to show us, hey, there's another DPS on this team. Okay, yeah, I'm chipping in, getting those frags. And now Telekinetic and Santi with those tank ultimates for this point B take. Shipman, though, he's gonna have that tactical visor, so Phaser, hopefully he's counting ultimates. It's out.
Yeah, so tactical visor does go down. He's gonna try to focus Phaser, but she is hiding exactly where that needs to be, and the tac visor does not get either the Mercy or the Phaser on that Pharah. However, the 1 kill so far is on the side of Team Moose, so they've decided to come back, especially with Lucio. Finally, someone getting rid of that Pharah, coming back, resetting, and going in for another push.
Exactly, Lucio climbing to higher heights than anybody ever imagined. Now Smoking Gun just getting a little bit more damage, and he's so close to a pulse bomb, and a great stick onto one of these tanks. Just soften up a little bit so that the rest of Team Moose can clean them up. That could be a huge opening for Moose moving into this next fight. But Phaser still sticking with his Pharah, not a hero that we see very often on Street Space, but is such a good pick for this player in particular that he's going to give it at least one more shot.
Yeah, and I think he's going for the barrage and possibly going to switch right after that, but it's been working out for them. Phaser's been, I think because of the Streets phase, not as impactful as other times that we've seen him on previous maps, and even on King's Road Point A, but right now we're going to see Telekinetic be a little too aggressive, getting wiped out, but we do see the stick not going to do much on those tanks. The Rocket Barrage does come out, and Phaser, Winston was distracting, and so was that Tracer, but now the Earth Shatter comes out, Smoking Gun and Asmech are laying down, and that self-destruct is going to get Asmech. Hey, welcome back to the world. Good morning. Here's a self-destruct for you.
That's right. Not quite the waking gift that you might have wanted, but nonetheless, Team Moo's going to have to take that delivery, and a great play from Anti-Sorg. You saw that he had the opening and he took it immediately. Great reaction time from that Rhine, because it's all about capitalizing on those small windows of opportunity, especially playing against a team like Team Moose that plays so aggressively and has so many flanking options.
Yeah, and so something that you'll see with Overwatch teams is that they need a balance when to be proactive and when to be reactive. And that was a great time for that Reinhardt to be reactive there. He was there was a lot of stuff going on. Phaser was getting some kills, and that Earth Shatter went down because that was the perfect timing for that. And what I mean by being proactive is the positioning. It's being the flanking and knowing your role in these fights. As Primal Rage does come down, the SD doesn't get anything, but it is going to split the team up as SWCW on that D.Va is going to go down because she's so out of position right now. And now they're down 5 versus 6 for this fight, and they have 15 seconds left to get this next point. But now Shipman's going to have the Tag Visor, and he's going to try to stop this push from Team Moose, but that's not going to happen because Phaser and Asmec are going to get those kills, and they're going to get 2 points.
Yeah, Moira and Farah chipping in just for that clean up there. Great move, and luckily though Shipman was able to hold that Tag Visor for the next fight, because as we've seen with these teams, contrary to what we commonly see in Overwatch, they've been blazing through this third point oftentimes, and so Reform, they're going to make sure that they have at least something in the tank, that they're not just running on empty.
Yeah, and so now we're going straight into this next fight in point 3. That Tag Visor is going to knock Phaser. He's going to have to wait for that barrage. The Coalescence is going to make things complicated for Anal Shipman, and then, oh no, and then so the... Dang it! Anti-Sorg is going to go down with the Earth Shatter. Sky69 is going to keep that sound barrier. Not worth using it now. Talking too fast sometimes make you say words you don't want to say. But I'm pretty sure his name is just Al, who works on a boat.
Exactly. I mean, Al, we all know Al down on the docks, that good old fisherman. I think he's from Canada, is what I've heard. Yeah, but he has been proving more than a great counter to Phaser, as we see that this player actually forced off onto the Junkrat. He loves this Farah so much and has had such great work with her, but this Soldier 76 has been giving him so much trouble. They're going to go for the Riptire strat instead.
He's definitely the best 76 that Phaser has seen thus far this tournament, because that Tag Visor was also zoning out that Vera. Maybe he knew that the Rocket Barrage was coming, and it makes it so during the rest of the Tag Visor, things don't happen. That Earth Shatter does go down. Let's see if the Self-Destruct is going to be able to follow up, and that is not going to be the case. Valkyrie is out for Kool-Aid, and the healing is going to be there. Another Self-Destruct not really doing anything. The support ultimates have all been used that are available. Moira's Coalescence on the Team Boost will be available pretty much right now, and then there it goes. The Coalescence happens, and the fight is just scrappy.
Shipman's going to have a Tag Visor, though. He's going to unleash all of those bullets, and the rest of Team Moose without that defense matrix ready for Suniti. They're going to fall in droves. Phaser's down, Azamak as well, and Team Moose with no bodies, no more time, no more hope. Reformed, well, hold them at just 2 points.
Yeah, so Reformed wins that round, going up in the finals here, 1-0. Getting that first game is just so good, just for your feels, you know?
Absolutely. It's been a long and weary day here, and these teams, you know, that mental game, staying positive and on top of things, their coordination, you can't be understated how important it is to continue with momentum throughout this series.
Yeah, so we're looking at Big Al's nice Tag Visor here, and zoning him out, pretty much ending the game for them there. Phaser, good stats, but a little hard-headed on the character selection.
That is true. I mean, moving into Streets phase, it is fair. You know, this is the first map in this best of 5 series. You might as well give the Fire a couple of tries. You know, you never know where you might get a really great barrage, as we saw. I mean, he even picked up a 5K on Anubis in the last series.
Why not, right?
Yeah, why not? However, this does mean Team Moose, they might have to swap up their tried and true composition now moving forward, because Team Reformed, they might have found the magic bullet.
And the magic bullet might just be not going to control. Right, because I think Team Moose is undefeated on control throughout this tournament, and I think they've won those pretty handily. Their last opponents were a little bit harder on them on those control maps, but I still believe they won 2-1 on that control point. But they're feeling confident on that, you know, on that map type. And Kings Row and the other map types have not been as friendly to Team Moose, so I wonder if there's going to be some strategy here in terms of that map pick.
Yeah, that's going to be the question. I do believe the teams have already pre-banned the maps,
right.
So we'll see where Team Moose and Reformed take us next. But yeah, I'm so happy to finally find a team that was able to, you know, give Moose a run for their money right here, literally, because there is, once again, folks, real money on the line here, $1,250 to be split amongst the winning teams.
Yeah, and so let's not also forget the $100 MVP. We're looking at you guys. We get to decide, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, the MVP's probably playing right now. We're not gonna tell you which one it is just yet. We need to finish the series. But also another thank you to Visor.gg for donating that MVP money as well as the prize pool, guys. HyperX and Origin as well. But now we're going to game 2. 1 point for Reform. That feels great. Do you think that Team Moose is going to be able to even that up?
That's a good question. What I really want to see is Smoke and Guns go back to the heroes that we've seen him really pop off on. Widowmaker. Tracer. I mean, I think he was playing Tracer earlier.
He was, but it wasn't. But it was like it didn't feel the same. You know what I mean? Like he needs to play confidently. Tracers need to know that they're in control, right? They lead people to certain places. They want to be confusing. They don't want to know where they're trying to avoid exactly where they're going to be, and that's not what was able to happen there in the last round.
Yeah, that's right. And now we are moving on to sunny Gibraltar, folks. And I couldn't come at a better timing as well.
I love this map.
I know, me too. And who's gonna love it even more possibly is Widowmakers. Jalski already teasing that French purple lady in spawn over here, as Shipman will be on this time around picking up the Pharah. And so, SWCW. Oh, how I wish we were going to see some Swedish men on the field today, but it's going to be D.Va once again.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to see a Symmetra. One of these days it will happen, but today is not that day. Phaser, though, not playing Pharah. Going to go ahead with that Junkrat. Really good on this map. There's some, especially with the health pack and the car wash, there is a lot of tight corridors, and Jalski is going to play that Widow. I'm a little disappointed we're not seeing a Widow v Widow duel right here, because those are just so amazing to watch, and actually one of Widow's best counters is another Widowmaker. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if you're not going to be landing those shots, you at least put the fear of God in your enemy Widow, make it so that the sight lines aren't quite so one-sided. But Jalski already getting pressured out here by Smoke and Gun, and he goes down. However, Shipman in the back in the sky is able to take out Sanity's mech, and with that, check this out, Phaser utterly cut off from the rest of his team. He's going to be surviving for a little bit, but not for too much longer, as Jalski also gets that crispy shot onto Sanity.
Yeah, and so the Widowmaker at the beginning, not that great, but here when they get the respawn, the attacking team is in the advantage here. They're starting to get those kills back. Basically, if about 2 or 3 people on the defending team die, they're going to make it pretty far past the car wash. So either want to stop him there. We actually see Sombra here sometimes with the car wash strategy. Not that often, but it's still fun to watch. I'm just throwing out an idea for you guys to try something new. But here we have a different Pharah. It's not Phaser, but something that I'm really interested in is Phaser has such good skill on that character. Great work by Jalski getting telekinetic, taking advantage of his aggressiveness. He should be able to deal with another Pharah.
Yeah, that's the question. Oh no, now it's the Rockets in from Big Al there, raining down on top of Phaser and Kool-Aid, and trying to show that, hey, there's more than one Pharah on this field, yo. You know, why don't you give me a little bit of a shout out?
That is a stagger. that is how you're supposed to stagger that D.Va. You kind of just play with her a little bit, playing with your food, and then you get her out of there. So no short spawns here. By the way, short spawns is when you die right before the point gets taken, and then they spawn right there on the bottom left. If you have a short spawn opportunity, you should just rush it and kill those people, because it's usually just 1 or 2.
Oh my goodness, but look at this from the defense. Phaser has given up the Junkrat. He says, you know, man, I'm just gonna do me. You can't make me change my hero picks. He's gonna be on the Pharah. I mean, Shipman, he's gonna stick with this hero because, you know, he hasn't died yet, and why not? But Phaser actually choosing to take this 1v1 air battle as the Coalescence is thrown out from Asamak.
Yeah, interesting Coalescence, trying to get that D.Va to heal back up, and it's not gonna be able to do that, and so he does get D-Mech anyway. Jalski getting a great kill on Smoke and Gun. Tracers are hard to hit, so when you get that kill, that feels good. And let's see if he's going to be able to counter the Pharah on the side of the Phaser, because Widowmaker is another really strong counter to that character. They know what's happening, they know he's good at it, and he has got to take control at this point. Phaser, we've been talking so many great things about you, it's time to show it off.
Absolutely, and he's going to have a really tall mountain to climb as well, having to deal not only with Shipman in the air, but also Jalski on this Widowmaker. And a big thing to point out here is that he has no mercy. But even if there was a mercy on the side of Team Moose, she only has 1 resurrection these days, and SW picking up a 2K off that D.Va self-destruct, 4 for this player total, actually. There's not going to be too much Moose can do.
Yeah, so Smoke and Gun gets a moral victory, getting Jalski on that Widowmaker. And hey man, telekinetic, don't be so cocky next time. Throw your shield down for that self-destruct. You shouldn't have died. So going into this next round, point 3, the Pharah gets a little bit stronger, a little bit more verticality, but not such great sight lines as Al gets 2 kills against that Genji and the Zenyatta.
Absolutely. Al has been a monster on this field so far, and FaZe looking really uncomfortable. Once he's off that Pharah, it's so difficult for his team to really rally around him and play around the other heroes that he ends up picking. However, Smoke and Gun on his own Widow now. Justice reigns from above, not going to be picking up anything but a third eye courtesy of Smoke and Gun. This Widowmaker pick working out so well for the defense.
Yeah, I wish he would do it more often. He's really good at it. Maybe doesn't feel as confident on Widowmaker as Tracer, but honestly, they've been pretty interchangeable in how effective they've been. Smoke and Gun getting rid of that Pharah on Al, making him switch, use the Rocket Barrage. Good switch here. Like we said, there's more verticality, but there's not a lot of sight lines for her to get some good rockets down. So coming in to this last point, they have 3 minutes and 51 seconds, which feels like a long time, but on Gibraltar is actually, anything can happen. I feel like this map can be pretty difficult to finish.
Oh, absolutely. That looks like a small ramp to us, but you might as well be Sisyphus trying to push a boulder up that mountain because so many teams get stuck on this third corner. However, it's a D.Va self-destruct going to get the revenge kill onto Smoking Gun, but not before Jalski gets ventilated. However, the Transcendence has been thrown in from Kool-Aid, and now all of the kills going the way of Team Moose as this kill feed lights up blue.
Yeah, something to notice is that FaZe does have that Dragon Blade, and here on the very end of Gibraltar is where it can be the strongest. It's a wide open area. You can actually spawn camp them in there, but that's not going to happen for Shipment because he is dead right now. FaZe are really good patience on that Dragon Blade. No need to waste it right now. Got to get that payload moving at some point, Reformed, but not today.
Yeah, not quite today. I mean, Reformed will be pretty satisfied with that eco push. Sky69 and Al going to be really close to both of their ultimates, and Tatertot has still been hanging on to this Valkyrie, and so the possibility of a resurrection, even if it is slow, a single one, not to mention the sieging potential of this damage boost is going to be coming out now as Tatertot pops that Valk preemptively.
Yeah, actually a little not confident on the side of FaZe. Yeah, I think he had a Dragon Blade chance on the Valkyrie Mercy. I think he should have gone for it, but that's not going to be the case this time, as I believe the Sound Barrier does come out of the side of Sky69 and nullifies the Dragon Blade. No kills for him. Big self-destruct possibly coming in. Not that big, but getting 1 kill on Jalski. Another character that should probably not die from that self-destruct, but you don't know what's going on sometimes. And then now another SD coming in at the end. And like we said before, it is still stuck on that part of the map. The payload has not been moving forward, but now Shipman and Anti-Sword getting some kills, getting the D-Mech out onto that D.Va. That's going to make them much weaker. So he might actually need to go back to base. He did, getting that mech back. Oh, actually, I think it was just the ultimate. But now, the fight still continues.
There we go, and now an angry monkey with 1,000 HP and a dream, just trying to stall it out for his team here on the defensive side. FaZe so incredibly close to a blade. He just needs a couple more seconds to get back on there, and Transcendence couldn't have been come sooner. Kool-Aid going to be popping that, giving everybody a little bit of enlightenment, helps them stay alive. You know the meaning of life and stuff, it helps. And now FaZe will be ushered onto the point with the rest of his team, and there he immediately finds Jalski, but will Shipman be able to answer back? He takes down his counterpart almost immediately.
Yeah, and so that is a huge kill on the side of Shipman because that Dragon Blade canceled out the other Dragon Blade from FaZe. Definitely not as impactful on that Genji as opposed to that Pharah, as Sonatai goes up into the air and gets D-Mech herself. SWCW getting both aspects of that. Sky69, this is looking so good for Reform thus far, but we have 60 seconds left, and they are still at spawn. Oh, so they don't know the baby D.Va was there. A little bit of stall there. That's going to allow Telekinetic to get to the point. Kool-Aid's going to be stuck in spawn. They actually wasted about 15 seconds there at the end, not getting that baby D.Va, but still an admirable time. Finishing Gibraltar is always feels good. 46 seconds left on the clock, 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. At least you have a little bit of time on the clock, even if it's not, a minute. Reformed, though, wow, that last point looked almost like a control point.
Yeah.
I mean, they were unrelenting in the pressure against Team Moose, and they were staggering so many kills and ultimates as well. But unfortunately, they were, when you're like running after a bus or something, and your body starts to fall forward, and your feet just can't keep up. That was kind of what was happening to Team Moose, and unfortunately, they were just never quite able to stabilize there. However, we have seen that this is a very aggressive team. So this, their own attacking phase might be where they shine.
Yeah, and they've shined on a lot of their attacking phases, right? They get the points quick, but we have seen them get stalled out when they just can't put it all together. And so Phaser is going to keep on that Genji thus far. Actually, Pharah's not terrible on this first part of the map. And I think it's probably the easiest place to play her, maybe other than Hangar. Definitely not on point 3, but I'm loving Smoke and Gun here on that Widowmaker. But one thing I love about Reformed, I'm saying that word a lot because I'm just excited about this match. Reformed, it has a game plan, and that's just so cool, and they're doing it, and they have the skills to properly advance their game plan forward. They know their win conditions, they know what they need to do.
Absolutely. If they can just keep Team Moose from finishing the map, they will have gone up 2-0 in this series in a best of 5, right? And so they'll just be looking to buy as much time off the clock as possible. So expect a lot of stall coming out from Reformed.
A lot of payloads that originally you might not think a team might go after just to get that extra 10 seconds off of the clock, because with 46 seconds, if they do finish in that, it'll be 1:46 going into the extra innings. If that happens, that's going to feel a lot better if that is more time than his opponent. Thus is the point of the game. Team Moose coming in hot with the Phaser on that Genji. You know, a little streaky on that character so far. We've been talking about his Pharah, but I think Shipman has actually been outplaying him DPS-wise thus far in the series.
Oh, absolutely, and the importance of those Genji blades can't be understated. I mean, it's basically a team-wiping fight if you can get something good, but this time around, Phaser is going to be the one winning out on that duel, and now Reformed, they're going to have to fall back. They just lost one to their DPS.
Yeah, Smoke and Gun in a little bit of an odd position there, getting killed by the Lucio as well as Jalski on the Tracer. Some really good eyes on the side of Reformed. SWCW getting a kill on Telekinetic. He's usually the first one to die. Tanks do that, but I think it's happening a little bit too fast, and I think Team Moose is just in a position they're just not used to being in.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Moira is still stalling things out. Tater Tot, he buys just enough time for Shipman to come from above and get a dome onto Phaser. So despite the early losses from Reformed, they're still biting time off of this clock as the payload just now coming into Car Wash.
Oh man, for some reason I felt that was going to work. Really good scope there, but Genji's going to be a pretty hard one to hit, especially if deflect is up. But now we do have an SD available for Sona and Soniti, and that's going to come out here soon, probably right when that bubble comes down. Coalescence is out for the Moira on the side of Reformed. Anti-Sork, though, going to get a kill on Asimak, who's playing Ana, I believe, for the first time, and that is an interesting switch. I love Ana just in general, so good. High skill cap champion, 78% already, probably getting ready for that Nano Blade.
No doubt. Phaser, he was a little lackluster in those ultimates in the defending round, so Team Moose say, hey, it's okay, we're going to throw a little bit more resources behind you. And so Asimak's surely there to give that nano boost to Phaser when the time comes. But for now, Reformed, they're still holding so strong. Team Moose, they keep trying to take this high ground to give Smoking Gun those sightlines, but they can never quite get up there without getting pushed off.
Yeah, and the Widowmaker has just been a non-issue thus far. Reformed doesn't have their own, but I haven't really seen Widowmaker in that kill feed very often. The wall hacks, though, especially here in Car Wash, can be very useful. But SWCW is going to get the D-Mag on his opposing D.Va with that self-destruct, with Shipman and Anti-Sword coming in with kills as well. But Sound Barrier is coming out hot from the sky, from the side of Team Moose. That was a little late. You're only going to get 3 people because 3 people were alive at that time. Why not wait for that Dragon Blade, that Nano Blade? That would have been much better here on the next fight.
Unfortunate, Shipman. He drew the blade, but it got immediately stuffed back into the sheet, courtesy actually of a baby D.Va and Grandma Ana. And so that's going to be a little bit of a feels bad, especially considering that Phaser held his hand and he's going to have that ultimate ready for this next push.
Yeah, with the Nano, and Nano Blade's such a common combination, and he's just going to try to set it up. He's got to go in the air so Ana can see him, Nano Boost him, and he's going to dash back down. You can dash twice, and we're going to see it happen again. There is the second one. The Nano Boost happens. He overshoots it just a little bit, and so far nothing happened. Amazing move on the side of Sky69 to help his team. Yes, a D-Mech and a kill happened. That could have been way worse unless that Sky69 move happened.
Absolutely, and he was able to come into a sound barrier in the middle of that fight. Phaser was actually able to preempt him slightly, but despite all of that, Reformed, Reformed are still holding here. However, a big nade onto that Primal Raging Anti-Sork gonna make it so difficult for him to stay up in here. He's still going. He actually manages to take down Kool-Aid before he himself gets sent back to respawn. But so far, Reform putting up such a great defense. Team moves down to the last 27 seconds.
Yeah, 27 seconds left, and they've got to get past point 1 and 2 and 3. Oh,
Aww.
That's sad. How anticlimactic. Usually you get like a super cool grenade and then like a big splash. That's not going to happen. Actually, really good to save that grenade, especially for this next fight. As Telic and Smoking Gun once again 2 kills on that pulse bomb. That seems to happen all the time for him. Hasn't been happening recently, but I'm so glad to see it back right now as his first point is becoming more and more of a reality here, making us sweat just a little bit, but they are going to get it with 2.5 minutes left. Hangar is huge. People do get held here, especially in the middle where the left turn does take place. Interesting as D, just, I guess, trying to get in their heads.
You know, just in case. I mean, Team Moose, they have ultimates to spare, but not much time left. And so you might as well throw that D-Mech out while the payload is still making its way through that choke point. And now we see Team Moose with this high ground control, but it's going to be Shipman in with that blade immediately, dashes to the back, takes down Azamak. That sound barrier from Kool-Aid not going to be there in time to save Grandma. And now Reformed with that coalescence out from Tater Tot as well, just going to be burning through this Team Moose offense.
And that is just exactly why all you need is 1 kill sometimes. And it's the kill that matters. Azamak on that Ana, who's actually been playing pretty well on that character, charging up that ult pretty fast, is going to go down first to that Dragon Blade. However, Phaser does have a Dragon Blade of his own. And Nano Boost is going to be available. It's going to make him tankier and do more damage. The shift is going to, the dash is going to do so much more damage, and it's going to get those resets a lot faster. He's so close. He's going to do it here very soon. The Nano is available, and what you want to see is that dash up in the sky, gives you a big view of the field, and then the Nano itself. We're going to see the dash here just to get out of the way of the SD, but Azamak's not going to have that happen. So now Phaser's going to have to think about, do I use it now, or am I going to wait for my friend to come back?
No, he certainly is going to, no! He's going to draw the blade, slicing and dicing, but the sound barrier is immediately there from Sky69, absolutely neutering that blade from Phaser. And Team Moose, they're down to the last 60 seconds. Come on, man, what are you doing? That first dash is so important. If you don't find a kill, you're just a guy holding a sword. You might as well be at a LARP.
Yeah, exactly. Or at a pool with a pool noodle.
Right?
Right? Also, where's that skin?
Big foam swords,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so Al is going to get close to his Dragon Blade, and the DPS on the side of Reformed has been outplaying Team Moose. And, you know, we've been talking a lot of Team Moose, but we're just a little bit more familiar with them. And seeing Reformed absolutely take that DPS and pour water on that fire is absolutely amazing. Shipman does come out with that Dragon Blade, going to slice the air a couple more times, so that's going to distract a bunch of people from the side of Team Moose. And Jalski and Anti-Sork are going to take advantage and get those kills. Telekinetic is going to get a really nice pick on that Lucio, but I think they only need 1 support for now. Tater Tot getting another kill on the Phaser. This is a big hold here. Reformed is looking good thus far. The last person on the point is going to be the support, Smoking Gun, and that Diva. Sound Barrier does come out. He probably wanted that a little earlier, only getting 4 people, including himself, but the point is still alive. That means this game is still alive too. Anti-Sork and Telekinetic both have Primal Rage, which will delay it there as well.
Shreds of life still in Team Moose and Smoking Gun once again. That guy, is he doping? Does he have magnets in his pockets? He finds another 2 with that pulse bomb. He's bought just enough time. Phaser's back in the mix. He's nearly 80% to that blade. This will be a difference maker for the side of Team Moose if they can only continue to cling on here, but they're gonna have to cut through the overshields from Sky69. A pulse bomb from Jalski just in the nick of time. Azamak fades out of that, so beautiful play from the Moira there, but now the sound barrier is out for the defense, and Reformed is out. There's the blade out from Phaser, looking for a little bit of redemption this time around. He's slicing and dicing, but nobody's going to be turned into sashimi this time around except Shipman. But with that DPS and Tater Tot and Anti-Sork falling, that's 3 men down for Reformed. Team Moose might have just done this.
Yeah, so Team Moose coming back strong. Very unexpected there, especially how Reformed has been playing. But here's the thing. They have to fight one more time.
Yeah.
They're not in a position to just take this point here. They definitely can come back. Anti-Sork is close to that Primal Rage again. He's going to have it. So he's going to come in with a vengeance. He's going to hop right onto that point. They've got to contest here because they can win the game if they do.
Absolutely. Tater Tots with yet another Transcendence ready, and it's going to be coming out. Kamehameha trying to blow away this offense as the Diva self-destruct will be picking up for money right there. And SWCW, man, Reform, they're going to hold.
SWCW. You do not see quadruple SD kills every day, my friend. And if you aren't playing the game, thank God we get to see this one again. We get to, and he's gonna go ahead and shift in most likely. First gonna get those missiles out there. If you melee while you're shifting, it does cancel it. And wow, it wasn't even just like, it wasn't even like a Pogo Bomb. It was just one of those like, I'm dying, so I'm gonna ult. They should have expected that.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's a good play. I mean, right there, not waiting till a point where you might get demeched away from the payload, understanding, right, that it's overtime and the offense has to be clustered around that payload in order to keep the time still moving. And so really great plays there from SWCW, all of Team Reform popping off in that map.
Yeah, and I think the responsibility was shared equally. I think Shipman had his time, SWCW had his time as well, and that's exactly what you want to see. Remember, these teams have only been playing together for 4 weeks. I mean, potentially, these guys might, some friends might have been playing together before. I don't know what the previous relationships are, but 4 weeks of intense practice, living in different states, coming all together, 6 people, 7 people with the coach, coming in, for these practices is hard to do, especially when you're young.
Oh, for sure. And but what a beautiful thing to behold when it all comes together. I mean, a little bit of schadenfreude of Team Moose. They've been rolling through the series, and they finally found the door slammed shut in their face. They're on the brink of losing this finals, the potential to take first place in this amateur uprising tournament if they lose this next map.
They have to get a game 5. They need to do the reverse sweep. Reverse sweeps happen all the time, and sometimes they happen in the way that you least expect it. So honestly, they've been they have never been the aggressor, and that's so weird coming from Team Moose so far. And something that Overwatch teams also do is you want to make your opponent play your tempo.
Exactly.
You want to make them play the game that you want to play. And if that's not happening, you're probably losing. I think that's just what's happening to Team Moose. Yeah,
unfortunately, Team Moose forced off of their favorite team comps and stuff into a hero picks that they might not be as practiced with. You saw that there was, though, flexibility and counter picking coming out from both of these teams. The Ana actually a great
I like the pick.
A great support hero to complement your Genji. Give him a little bit more sustainability and a little bit more time to swing that sword, feeling like he can dive very deep and go for those more risky picks. Unfortunately, though, Grandma also makes for a really juicy dive target for the defense, which is kind of what happened over and over. We saw the Winston picking her out very early on.
Basically, you need to save the sleep dart for the Genji and that Dragon Blade. Yeah, the percentage on that is low, but if you hit it, I mean, that's a big victory for your team. And you're alive, and you can actually probably kill him as well with the grenade and the shot in the melee, which I think is a one hit for a lot of those squishier characters. But now we are 2 games in, and one team has won both of those games, and that is a Team Reformed. So, one of the things about a good team is how they deal with being 2 games down in a best of 5. We talk about it all the time. Overwatch is a mental game, and when you're going in, it's hard sometimes to not give up. So what is some advice you might give Team Moose going into this next round?
I mean, Team Moose is going to be a hard one. You just dropped 2 maps, especially coming off of such a dominant win streak. It's, reminiscent of Dallas Fuel, my favorite team, the best team, in fact. That's why I like them. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
best team, totally.
Exactly. Yeah. But, I mean, coming off of their dominant win streak and then being shut down so hard in Owl Stage 1, I mean, it's all about that mental fortitude. You can't let the comms break down. You have to keep talking to each other, call targets.
I think Timu's Twitter is a really good way to kind of analyze that, right? He was not, feeling good about himself. And when you have that mentality, it's going to be hard to perform at your highest potential. And the reason why we're talking about that is Team Moose, who is now on the red side, needs to get over that. Yes, they've made some mistakes, but they still have 3 games. They haven't lost this match yet. It is time to get it back. And what's awesome about this round is we do get a Farmer Seed duo, which is kind of, which is interesting for Village on Nepal, but we're going to get to see it. We're going to get to see 2 really good Pharahs because Shipman had played really, really well earlier.
Yeah, both teams trading 1 for 1 right now. Tater Tot, though, does get the resurrection onto Sky 69. These 2 teams actually running mirror compositions, but it's going to be Team Moose with the first point presence. And now Reform going to have their work cut out for them, trying to aggress on this point against this far from Phaser. And once again, you see him flying free, absolutely just doming all of these players. And oh no, Big Al, he's gonna take a break. He recognizes that this fight's probably won. He's gonna go back to respawn, drink some Kool-Aid and get back in afterwards.
He will now be known as Big Al. I think he's deserved the nickname. You only call someone Big Al when they're good at something, and he's definitely good at this game. As Telekinetic coming back with a DMEC and a kill on SWCW and the side of Team Moose. Control, we talked about how this is their strongest map. If they're going to win, they have to win here. If Reform takes the win here, I think it'll be an upset in terms of map type.
Ooh, and already from afar, Kobe. That's right. Oh shit, man, he's gonna be feeling that one all the way back to spawn. But Tater Tot says, "You're not done yet. Get back in there," and reses him back up. But once again, here we go with the barrage.
Beautiful Valkyrie. Oh, that was so good. Did you see that Guardian Angel save the Mercy? Just call it predicted.
There we go, and so Barrage not going to be picking up too much here, and Shipman on the other side is actually going to find Asamak there. And so now things are looking really good for Reform. They just need to find that target focus, clean up all of the dregs of the Team Moose stagger, as a raging Winston's going to see how long he can stay here, but gets sent back to respawn almost immediately. Boy, this is Nepal, not a zoo.
And Village is going to be a village of ultimates here on the side of Reformed. 4 available, and Shipman is going to have the Rocket Barrage. Phaser not even close, so they should be able to get to around 50% before Team Moose is going to be able to get back onto this point. Phaser, though, is going to try to make that even harder for them with that damage-boosted rockets, and it's so great that both of these teams are starting to finally look at the sky and get rid of those Pharas. Pharas across the board, these two maps have just not been as effective.
There we go, and now the dive coming in. A Valkyrie preemptively popped from Kool-Aid, just providing a little bit of extra sustain, making sure that he stays alive. But it's going to be Shipman pulling the trigger first. He smashed that Q, and he picks up 2 for his troubles. Phaser this time finding himself the prey in this battle. And now Team Moose, they're running out of players, but they still have this Tracer alive. Smoke and gun going to force the Valkyrie in from Tater Tot, and he's been so slippery. This Tracer has had such a hard time, and now with that tac visor out from Jalski, this fight is won and done.
Yeah, so Reform is going to take over the point, getting to 55%, and this is starting to look really good for them, as both teams are actually pretty low in the ult economy. We mention ult economy all the time because it's especially for support. Support ultimates are arguably the most important ones in the game. Valkyrie for Tater Tot is, it's so crazy how different the game is, because you heard their Valkyrie and you would know that 3 people were going to come back. It didn't matter how good of a player, that person might have been getting that, pick. Valkyrie was going to come and bring that person back. But Tater Tot is using it more for that AoE healing there. Oh, actually really good tracking and really good on the boop by SWCW to finish off Phaser. Jalski buttered him up for him. And now we have a fight on our hands here in the village. Coalescence coming out, going to take down Anti-Sorg on that Winston. SWCW is going to be a huge kill on that Mercy. That usually means the rest of the team might fall down soon. But Moira is going to make it a little bit harder. Tater Tot getting a res off, one of the few that we have seen so far on Village.
There we go, and now Phaser, he's going to be looking for a barrage. He could turn the tides of the fight for his team here. Telekinetic just bashing that poor little baby diva into the corner. I'm pretty sure that's child abuse in most places. And Phaser now with this barrage, I'm not too sure about that one, but sometimes you just want to beat your chest to show your Pharah dominance. But that was an unfortunate, maybe a fat finger or something, because the fight was won.
Do you think that Overwatch has child protective services?
I hope so. Animal cruelty laws too. Look how they treat those Winstons.
I know, right? I mean, he obviously is sentient. Anyway, so coming back into the game, 99-93. This is the last fight. Anti-Sorg getting a huge pick to start on Telekinetic. No mercy available either as Kool-Aid goes down by Jalski. This is awesome so far for the side of Reform, but Sky's going to go down as well. The Kool-Aid's not going to be able to help Phaser, and that is exactly why he goes down.
Oh my goodness, and Saniti, he spent that self-destruct, but Jalski took him down before he could get back into mech, and now this is one and done for Reform. They take it.
That was a great flip, back and forth fight. Team Moose showing their mettle on Control throughout the entire series, and now they're behind 1-0 on Nepal. So let's see what is going to happen next. We are on a Shrine. And so Shrine is a really awesome map, especially for Lucio, because there's a lot of really good stall tactics on the Spire in the Shrine, as well as booping areas. This is a moderately strong map for Pharah if you're really good at the character, so Phaser has found success so far on this map as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like he will be sticking to his favorite hero, but the question is, Jalski, he looks so strong on that 76 on Village, and unfortunately Smoking Gun on the Tracer just not able to chip in enough on the ground game in order to make up for the lack of long distance hit scan. But this time around, Jalski will be on that Reaper, so Reformed 100% committed to this ground war.
Yeah, maybe expecting some more tanks on the side of Team Moose, but that is not going to be what he sees. Reaper not that great against Vera. He is going to be pretty great against those tanks. He's going to need to get that Death Blossom as fast as possible. So good on this part of the map because there's so many good choke points to use it and just absolutely destroy the opposing team. But as of right now, Phaser is going to start things off with a great pick off of Tater Tot and that Moyar. No support for you, and a stick on SWCW. Why does this keep happening? Like 2 kills again?
I don't know. Smoke and Gun, he has one of those BOGO coupons, buy one, get one free. He's just cashing them in over and over. Must be the thing, because what a great ultimate play from the Tracer, not only to get the Pulse Bomb within the first bite, but also what incredible accuracy.
Yeah, it's a hard ultimate to land. People practice that all the time, and obviously Smokin has been practicing it as well. Tracer probably his best character that we've seen so far. Widowmaker, definitely, I think, actually a closer second than one might expect. And so great on that Diva, doing exactly what she needed to do. Force Phaser to hit on the ground, and she's in a vulnerable position right now, but they have to follow that up. Phaser does have that rocket barrage. She's looking for an opportunity, and it might be at right now, but no, gonna keep that patience. That Mercy's gonna keep him alive, get that damage up, gonna direct hits instead. I don't need an ultimate, I just need my left click. So we're gonna go back. Oh, really good jump. That might have stuck if that leap didn't happen.
Yeah, but now it's gonna be the barrage all day long. Phaser, man, I can't say anything else. It's rain and rockets. Hallelujah, it's rain and rockets. Because Team Moose, they saw that they swapped Jalski onto that 76. The Reaper, you know, a good choice. They wasn't doing too much. I mean, Team Moose wasn't running tanky enough team comp to get the value from the sustain, from that lifesteal, right? So they did swap off onto that long range 76. However, with the lack of damage mitigation, SWCW this time around on a Roadhog, Phaser able to get so much damage in. He has barrage every fight.
Yeah, and so he did the right thing. He got in her face, made her go down, made her lose altitude, but then the team kind of just forgot that she was there, and the barrage happened, and 3 kills did as well. Smoke and Gun and Phaser have been a DPS duo all game long. Phaser going to get 4 kills. However, SWCW is going to get the kill on Smoke and Gun. No Tracer for you. Sky69 is going to get a boop off of Asamak, so no support for you either. And now it's looking like the team of Reformed has a shot here, with SWCW appeared 2 more times, especially against that Mercy. Great hook on Phaser. That is wonderful. Great 11-player kill streak on your end, Phaser, but that is no longer. As SWCW says, get over here. It is time to die.
Come in for a hug. Let me kiss you with my gun. But SWCW, you saw how strong he was on Divas for his team in the past, but now finally coming into his own on this Roadhog as well. And now this is what you want to see for Team Reformed. Jalski with the positioning already set up, this defensive hold for the 76, going to be able to peck away at that Pharah at leisure. However, Phaser just 5 seconds away from getting yet another barrage.
Yeah, and it's actually really good metering on that left click for the 76. If you hold left click, you are not going to be as accurate as you need to be. And something that was accurate, however, was Phaser and that rocket barrage. Tater Tot going down. You don't want to see those supports going that early. Coalescence is going to be available for Team Moose because Atsmack is still alive. Going to heal up the team and do a little bit of damage as well. Telekinetic going to get anti-sword in the end, getting his tank. Enemy Phaser going to get the D-Mag, and it is time for SWCW to do that whole hog. Really, really good healing orb, getting him to be able to finish that whole hog. Ooh, that was so close. Clipped him. The spread damage on Jalski did happen, but that biotic field's going to make him stay alive. And so Needy with that SD going to take Sky69.
Both of these teams scrapping it out for their life. Reform still ticking up, though. They have control at this point, so it's important to note that Team Moose have not regained control. So they are just feeding bodies, feeding ultimates as the zoning self-destruct from Shipman comes in. But no, he gets knocked to death. Telekinetic smacking him all the way back to respawn before he can get back in. Jalski now with that Tac Visor. What is this SWCW? He generates ultimates like a Genji. He's going to have yet another whole hog. Not going to confirm any kills, however, but he has bought a crucial amount of time.
Yeah, so really good hook so far. But Phaser, who's also been having a great round as well, is going to get SWCW in the end a little bit of a revenge kill. That barrage seems to be constantly up. Smoke and Gun is going to give him a chance as well, but now the point is going to flip, and they do not have time to come back. Overtime hits, we're going to see it again here in a few, and actually maybe they might, Tater Tot might be able to get back to the point, but not really, because Anti-Sword's going to go down with that pulse bomb. You can't let that happen, especially in a situation like this. Hey guys, it is your match point, you gotta play clean. And they do get back onto the point, which is amazing. Really good Moira orbs. Hey, take note of those angles that they're doing. It makes it so they can stay in the shrine the whole time. People practice that. It's not just random. It is math in the game. But this fight is now just being a scrappy back and forth.
Yes, exactly. Both teams punching each other as hard as they possibly can, but Team Moose with that ultimate advantage and the positioning advantage as well. Phaser once again landing two. He takes out both of the tanks for Team Reformed, and this might as well just be the end. Once again, a beautiful way to finish out the fight. Phaser with that 2K.
Surprisingly, that was only the second round on Nepal.
What?
I know, right? 1-1, best of 3 usually on Control, and now it is time for Reform to either take the match or Team Moose to keep their tournament alive. And we're going to see it on one of the best maps for this situation, where anything can happen, and SWCW is playing a phenomenal Roadhog. So we're going to see some boops, we're going to see some hooks, we're going to see some halts. They're looking for those environmental kills.
Absolutely, and what close games as well. Both these teams so evenly matched here on Control, 1-1 and 199 percentage takes as well. And so Reformed, they're gonna really have to bring their A game, because Phaser, he has not shied away from this bird of prey at all. Once again, it's gonna be the Pharah, and a naked Pharah at that. No, JK, Kool-Aid just playing with my heart over there. He is gonna, after he gives that bit of Lucio speed boost to his team, gonna swap back onto the
Decided
Mercy.
to put his clothes on for the day. Not going to be naked for this match. However, that might be distracting. But Phaser going to get a couple direct hits right away with an 18% on that ult charge.
But look at Reform. They're all about Jalski on this McCree. They're giving him so much space with that Orisa shield. However, against the damage coming in from Phaser, that shield's not going to last too long. But Reform have gotten that high ground positioning as Team Moose stream onto the objective.
Everyone is flying everywhere. There's so many environmental concussive mines, and then the halt almost getting people. Telekinetic boosting out of the pit, and Anti-Stark barely getting a Phaser, but Phaser's jump pack was available, not getting that environmental kill. None so far. But the point is now being battled for. 12% on the side of Team Moose. They were able to cap it. Ooh, and Tater Tot is gonna get a res pretty much out in the open. McCree's coming out. Jalski finally doing what McCree's are supposed to do against Farah, and that is taking him down. But it might be too little too late, as Team Moose is gonna get 25% and win that fight.
Yeah, Phaser once again so close to that barrage, and now Reformed really going to have a hard time breaking through this choke, because as a Pharah, you know exactly where the team is going to be, where you can lay down those rockets for your best advantage. However, Jalski with that zoning high noon, and so they might just push through with this ultimate. Tater Tot, of course, also quite close to that Valkyrie, going to give the McCree a little bit of extra damage boost.
Yeah, and the high noon's going to have to wait for those shields to come down. Defense Matrix is going to be available as well, just like Rocket Barrage. So Needy's going to need to just fly in front of the McCree, but fire in the hole. Riptire is out, friends. Let's see if it's going to be able to do anything, and it's going to wait just a second. Jalski's going to take a kill, but not until Shipman is going to get 2 on that Riptire, opening the point up for Reformed. But hey, guess what? Both reses are going to get off on Synctum just right now. Smoking Gun getting another really great pulse bomb, just one this time. You're gonna bring that average down into 1 here soon. Let's keep it up to 2, man. You've been killing it. So Needy's gonna get a self-destruct kill on that Roadhog as well.
Jalski wanted to tell them that it was noon, but he forgot to wear his watch because he got nothing for that high noon. Shipman now going to be bringing in that double hit scan with the 76, but Reform can't take too much more time. Team Moose is already up to 90%. They've had no answer for this Pharah, and just like the Team Moose's previous opponents, they are paying the price.
Yeah, and so they gave themselves a little bit of hope. They meddled out that, they toughened out that first point, and they are going to be able to compete here. 99-0. Anything can happen right now. It is the finals. People are playing for money right now. As the Coalescence coming out and Asimek does come down, Diva's going to have to get out of the way just to get healed up. And right now, Asimek was the only one in the point. Oh, whew, that was so close, Winston. I'm so glad your jump pack was available. It is back in action. Justice reigns from above. Good defense metrics. That's exactly what you want to see from your Diva. Didn't quite work, but that was the right idea. Next time it should, but there might not be a next time on this map, as Phaser, for once again, coming back to old form. All you needed was your control map, and you are back, buddy. Victory, Team Moose 2-1. That's gotta feel good.
Oh yeah, signs of life yet. Team Moose, they are not out of this tournament. And after some really close matches, they will be taking home the win on Nepal. Let's check out this play of the game from Phaser, and say what you will about this player, but it just feels so good, man. Justice reigns.
And getting those tanks, getting the value there on those rockets, and then the support kills to follow right after that. No healing for you. Also, no point for you, as we are tied up 2-1. So just to look into the crystal ball just a little bit more, just so you guys know, Game 5 is a control point. It is going to be Ilios. So that's going to be in the favor of a Team Moose, but they have to get there. They pretty much were, they were underwhelming on the other kinds of maps, even through some of the other series. But this team seems to be a little bit more together and cohesive than the ones that they have faced in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of these teams so evenly matched. And this is just a big kudos, a shout out once again to our coaches, right? That they have prepared their teams so well to face all kinds of adversaries, bringing all sorts of different looks. And so regardless of who ends up taking this series, both of these teams have really played to an incredible level.
Yeah, and so making it interesting now, 2-1. Team Moose is the 1. Reformed is the 2, and I'm so looking forward to what this next map is going to bring, because we have had some star DPS players on both sides. But something else that I always like to do during these casts is I think supports probably get 2% of the airtime and the talking time from the casters and everyone else. But Sky69 on that Lucio, some great sound barriers on Gibraltar, and as well on some of the other maps, as because he was able to nullify those Dragon Blades with those sound barriers.
Absolutely, really good ultimate timing from both sides of these team support players. Tater Tot with the Coalescence, I mean, really quick ultimate generation as well. Asamak is on the other side for Team Moose, I believe.
Yep, another good Moira.
Yeah, and so another great Moira. And so I think thing with support players is if you're not calling them out for messing up, you're generally doing pretty good.
I was just thinking that. I was like trying to make the best way to say it, and of course you did it better. Classic classic ham.
That's the pork way. You see, is that you just gotta join the meat family.
I
man.
love meat, man.
Right, you could be Boopin' Buffalo or something.
Oh,
right?
that sounds delicious. I would totally eat that as a meal. Something I wouldn't eat, though, are rocket barrages. That seems to be happening all the time recently. But one thing I want to point out, too, is that Phaser was only able to do that on the control points. He's very familiar with exactly where he needs to be, especially on Shrine. We talked about how only good Pharaohs are good on that map, right? But again, we're going to talk about the supports one more time, as his best friend, Mercy, has been keeping him alive, and you can't have a good Pharaoh without a good Mercy.
Oh, Kool-Aid has been such a slippery snake, able to survive so long in those team fights. And a support player, like 60% of the job is just that sustain, to be able to be there present, to add in those heals for the rest of your team while they're doing some more of the heavy lifting. And so, yeah, definitely good to watch out how, especially when they were running those dueling air combos, how the two different Mercies played. And so we will, I believe, be moving on into Route 66. So this will be a slight advantage potentially to Reformed, who performed really well on Gibraltar.
And Reformed does have a Lucio player who is very good, especially on defense on Route 66, and we're maybe going to see it. But hey, I'm okay with the Lucio, with the Zenyatta as well. One of my favorite characters to watch, and one of the most impactful supports. It doesn't feel like you're doing a lot of healing, but you're also doing a lot of damage.
So much damage, man. I mean, those right clicks, you can take down a Tracer with, a simple triple tap if you get, if you get the timing right.
And something that I've noticed with some of the stats that they're showing for Overwatch League is that your healing and damage should pretty much kind of be close together, and then your trans healing should be probably around 1,500 to 2,000 to get that healing above. Maybe I'm just looking at some of the more aggressive Zenyatas, but same thing with a D.Va. The damage blocked and the damage done is usually around the same area.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing both of those heroes moving on into Route 66. Both teams going to be showing that D.Va Zenyatta combination on the side of Team Moose with the attacking, with the chance to set the pace here on the attack first. No surprises. Phaser in the sky with Kool-Aid at his back. Awesomack going to be on the Zenyatta this time around. But Reformed, they have brought out all the heavy hitters. They have Sky69, Zenyatta, Jalski on the McCree, and Big Al on that 76. They are not going to let this far get an inch.
Yep, they called this. Discord Orb is on Phaser, so that Mercy is going to be so important. And something that I love saying is we're finally at Big Earl's gas station, one of the most common point A hold points for any map. Route 66 can get held right where we are right now. Really great hot from Telekinetic, but he doesn't have the support to back him up. Sometimes you can make it to the back line, but other times you just just can't make it out.
Yeah, however, Phaser does get the kill onto Jalski, and in the meantime, all of Reform forced onto the low ground, which means that Team is able to get a little bit of distance on this payload. However, now all of the rest of his team will be cleaned up. Awesomek himself going to be sent back to respawn. Phaser most likely going to be backing off as well. So Reform for now, a really great defense. They barely gave up any space, and however, one thing to watch out for, SWCW really going to have his work cut out for him, peeling for so many of these slow hit scan.
Yeah, and so one tank on the side of D.Va with that self-destruct, even when he is using self-destruct, he is vulnerable. There's only one tank on the field at that point in time, so you've got to be conscious about that. And Anti-Sorg has played a really good Winston, and I believe played some really good Reinhardt earlier on King's Row, I think winning the map for his team. And now we're back at Big Earls, and we're going to get the fight going once again with Shipman coming in hot against Telekinetic, and now we see the blue popping up on that kill feed. The tracking so far on Shipman on that 76, as well as the other characters, has been, bar none, some of the better DPS that we've seen so far. The only other one that I might put up, on his level thus far is Phaser, but honestly, in this matchup, Shipman has been getting his number.
Oh, absolutely. And this double hit scan, it was obviously there for the anti-Pharah effort, but it's equally as good for shutting down those flanking DPS from Smoke and Gun and Phaser. You have Shipman putting in that consistent damage with Jalski standing a little bit behind so he can get a further view on who's going to be coming up. You can get that flash headshot kill, as once again Telekinetic going to be leading the charge here, and Jalski will be the first one down. Phaser gets the kill onto Sky69 as well.
Yeah, so Phaser doesn't need the Pharah, he just needs a character, as Phaser gets 2 kills, 1 on that Zenyatta. SWCW, though, is going to cut that momentum short and get the boot kill on him himself. Telekinetic is going to get a kill on Shipman. That's going to feel good, especially since Telekinetic has been hunting him pretty much for the entirety of this map, and finally able to break through Big Earls potentially as the last person on the side of Reform goes down. No more Reinhardt for you, Anti-Sorg. We're going to get a point instead.
Not a bad, not a terrible hold though for Team Reformed. They're going to be entering this Streets phase with 4 ults to their name, and Teemu's going to be relying entirely on Phaser's blade, most likely, to try and soften up this defense. However, they will have to go against that high noon, and especially here on this Streets phase, the sight lines are so long, it's going to be really difficult for Team Moose to dive this McCree effectively.
Yeah, and so Phaser is going to try that dive. We've seen this a lot. So what you want to see and what you want to do when you have that Dragon Blade is shift up into the air, get a view of the team, not let your IQ drop 60 points, and then shift back down and get that kill. If you do not get the kill, as Ham mentioned before, you're probably going to get killed yourself. Kool-Aid has the boop to help either push them into a corner or save his own team from a couple of the other ultimates, but Sky69 on that Zenyatta has trans, one of the biggest counters to Dragon Blade.
Absolutely. However, one of the things to keep in mind is Reformed have the high ground right now, but Transcendence is not an ultimate that translates vertically very much. So as we see here, the ground troops falling one by one. Anti-Sorg going to come down, fall down, Shipman as well. But the Transcendence forced so early. Phaser, he still has his blade.
Yeah, and so the Transcendence is out. The blade is ready to be unsheathed here at the next fight. Doesn't need it for this one, as the supports are also going to get some really good ult charge here for the health differential on the side of Team Moose. But Reformed is going to have their own set of ultimates, but nothing that can really get Genji out of his Dragon Blade. A good High Noon or a good Deadeye could do it, but you also have to worry about that deflect.
Yeah, the deflect going to be strong here. Shipman really close to that tac visor as well, but he's going to have to chew through Kool-Aid's sound barrier. So it's all going to come down to an order of operations for these teams as the payload closes in onto point B. And now Reformed bursting out of the choke here is going to be an early self-destruct from SW.
Yeah, and so the D.Va's going to go into the corner, and then he's going to do his own self-destruct right now. But the sound barrier only hitting 3 of them, I believe. Phaser going to go down immediately. Got baited a little bit by his own sound barrier on Kool-Aid. It's a little weird not seeing that character, Kool-Aid, playing Mercy with that Phaser on that Pharah. But for right now, Sonidi is going to get a kill, and so is SWCW. These D.Vas, I love, have been a little bit more aggressive on this map than they have been, and they need to get into the face of the other team. They can be so annoying and can block a Deadeye themselves, and he's going to need to be looking out for that. But he can't because he's out of his mech and will die to the Deadeye instead.
Yeah, your flesh body a lot squishier than that big metal robot mech. And so now Reformed, they have been able to rebuff this attack from Team Moose once again. However, Smoke and Gun, man, this is the guy. He gets 2Ks every time he throws out that pulse bomb. He's looking to be the difference maker for Moose in this next push.
Yes, and so this next push has 1 minute left. Beautiful, beautiful pulse bomb. That would have been awesome if she died himself. Like, that was a calculated 900 IQ backwards roll. That is not the case, as the red team, as Team Moose, is going to go down onto the ground thanks to that Earth Shatter, but there's no one there to back it up. Sometimes you get the opportunity to get 6 people, 4 people, 5 people, but there's no one else to do anything about it. It's better just to save it.
And now we do see a hero swap for Reformed. Shipman going to take on this Reaper. However, they might not be trying to contest this last point, as they're just going to let that go, set up the way that they want for their last defense. Team Moose, they've been looking a little bit more shaky on the streets phase, but they still have 1:40 left to win.
So something to point out is that phase actually is one of the easiest to complete in the game. I think it has something of upwards a 90% success rate for the attacking team. So they do get there, but it took a lot longer than they had planned. But what they do have are some important ultimates. As Coalescence comes down, but Anti-Sorg is going to get a huge pin on Phaser. That is amazing on the side of Reform. No Dragon Blade for you guys, but that pretty much means that no ults are going to come out. And so all the ults are available for both teams. Anti-Sorg, though, going to get about 25 seconds, 30 seconds back for Reformed.
Tater Tot with a really late Coalescence there. Kind of interesting, not getting too much value there, but living up to his name as kind of a potato ult. But no, nonetheless, Sky69 will still have that sound barrier to keep his team healthy in this next. But no, they're all clumped up. This pulse bomb is going to land right on that Lucio. You're going to have to save the music for another day, my friend.
Yeah, Kool-Aid gets every single member of his team with that sound barrier, protecting him like a Lucio should. The music is loud. They're listening to the beat. Lucio saving their butts, but Reform is going to try to make this more interesting. But that's going to be a lot harder with Shipman going down on that Reaper. He's been showing some better DPS on some other characters. But Jalski going to come in with a Deadeye, getting Phaser one more time. He's had his number, and actually a pretty good sound barrier on 69 because Jalski was able to get past that Deadeye, get it charged up to get that double kill.
Yep, and now coming into this next engagement, 18 seconds left, so Team Moose, they cannot lose a single man coming into this next fight. They need their full fighting force, but they're going to have to come up against this hammer from Anti-Sorg, not to mention that Death Blossom coming in, and no, Zenyatta will be laid onto his back. The hammer is going ham right there. Anti-Sorg, he wants to be the difference maker for his team, as overtime now ticks down. One Diva, not going to be too long for the world. A couple of squishies left from Team Moose, but you see Tater Tot out with this Tube Transcendence. It doesn't just do healing, it's there for the damage as well, as time will tick down and Reformed hold Team Moose at just 35 meters.
This is a very beatable time, or a very beatable distance, and also precision German engineering. Helping secure that point, Reinhardt. So good on that Earth Shatter.
Absolutely.
Getting 2 kills immediately. One thing that we've been seeing a lot today is actually Earth Shatters without charge follow-ups, and you're actually pretty safe. If you get 3 or 4 people in that Earth Shatter and you charge, you're safe on that kill, and you should be able to get it because they're standing still. So really good, clean Earth Shatter there, winning them that point. Actually making it so that Team Moose doesn't get any further on that payload.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was actually really great game sense coming in from Anti-Sorg, once again realizing that since it was overtime, all of Team Moose would have to be clumped up there on the payload. He had a perfect line of sight, and all they had to protect them was that a dinky Winston bubble that's not going to be lasting too long. So great game sense from the tank player on the side of Reformed. However, Team Moose, they have their work cut out for them. It's down to the wire now, playing for all of the marbles. They need to hold Team Reformed.
Yeah, and they're going to look to do exactly what they did to them, Reformed into Team Moose. They're going to need to delay them on point B, assuming that they get there. They actually held big Earls is hard to get through. People have practiced it. It's a standard type of strategy. You know it's coming. Sometimes you'll see the Orisa to make it even harder to get back. And it's actually really interesting to see that Orisa hasn't really been played by these two teams, favoring the Reinhardt as well as the Winston and the Diva. I think Winston, Diva, Reinhardt are the more popular tanks that we've seen thus far in this tournament. But Team Moose, definitely a beatable time, and they're they got to keep that momentum on their side, but that's going to be really hard to do because Reform has shown that they can just walk through these payload points.
Oh, absolutely, and a Shipman going to be on that Pharah once again. Tater Tot on that Mercy, so Team Moose, they'll surely be expecting this, but regardless, they're not running any kind of hit scan, and it's just really curious. Neither of these teams running that Sombra on defense. I mean, she's due for a new patch, but that health pack mechanic hacking that one Mega under Big Earls, definitely a really strong one, will certainly give Reformed pause as they come in. But there will be no lovely Mexican lady on the field this time around. It's just going to be Phaser on that Junkrat, Asimak on the Moira, no surprises there. And Kool-Aid this time will be looking to Discord and delete Shipman out of the air with those orbs.
Yeah, and so we see the Discord orb go right to Shipman. That's exactly what you want to do as that Zenyatta is going to get switched around most likely to other players, specifically the tanks on the team. But Shipman is in the air, getting free range right now, getting 2 kills, well 2.5 kills with that D-Mech. Is he going to get the Junkrat? This might happen. It's a little slippery if you don't get this. It's because he gets that pack, which he did, but his friend has got his back. Anti-Sorg's going to get Phaser in the end. No pack for you.
Yeah, lovely. Monkey in the moment there. Anti-Sorg picking, cleaning up, just tickling all of the rest of the defenders to death there. And unfortunately, Team Moose getting a taste of their own medicine, and it is a bitter pill to swallow as Shipman now camping the very far forward here, trying to put in a little bit of extra damage, work up to that barrage before Team Moose can even get to the point.
Yeah, and really good disruption by Anti-Sorg diving in, just then knocking him off of Big Earls. Jalski, though, getting really good at D-Mech, and hey, guess what? No tire as well, as SWCW does take out Phaser. So this is still looking so good for Reformed. A bunch of blue. It's like an ocean over there. Gets the first point, and this is what we're talking about. They have 4 minutes, 56 seconds, and arguably one of the easiest points in the game. So we saw it happen earlier. They can delay it. We've seen it getting delayed before. People are getting better at this point. More strategies are happening. Let's see if that's going to be the case here, but they've got to cut some time down.
Oh, absolutely. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to complete this map. Take 2 points and just a little bit. Team Moose, oh no, but Kool-Aid's going to be the first one down. You need that Transcendence up in case of a barrage. Phaser now has swapped off onto the McCree for a little bit more anti-air effort, but he's currently getting bodied back into his choke.
He has not played McCree that much during this series, but might be pretty good if a Pharah player is going to know how a Pharah player moves. As Jalski gets another kill on Smoking Gun, and this staggers the kills because, you know, they were just getting back to full strength, and a kill on Smoking Gun is going to make it so that doesn't happen, because that Kool-Aid kill before that gave him free distance, and we talked about this. They needed to delay. This is their last chance.
Last chance now, and it is not looking like a good one as the D-Mech comes out onto Saniti, and he dies as well. Now the Coalescence from Asimak not going to do anything against the barrage coming in from Shipman. There's even some overshields from the Sound Bearer on 69 just to make sure that the Pharah stays alive. And now this poor Omnic Monk, Kool-Aid going to be sent back to respawn. Splayed arms there. That's if there was ever a mascot for this unfortunate Route 66 map, it's that Zenyatta just...
Yeah. Too bad he can't walk, though.
No, please don't remind me. Something from something from, you know, like Stranger Things.
Right. And so coming up, they have 5 minutes. I think they have 5 minutes and 9 seconds to get 34 meters. Ugh. Crazier things have happened.
That's right.
But they've got to be feeling good, especially with the ult economy they have. It is the same on both sides. The Kool-Aid Trans is going to be huge here. Really great stun grenade, but you've got to get that headshot. That could have been huge for Phaser on that McCree, who's going to die with that Deadeye. And SWCW is going to get it going with that self-destruct kill. Jalski's going to get that kill on McCree as well, and he is popping off. He's going to try to get even more pulse bombs, but he's going to get hit more bullets as Primal Rage comes out for that Winston on the side of Reform. Telekinetics Primal Rage is going to be used in terms of delay and stall, and so is that Deadeye. Not really going to have anything happen on Phaser, but yes, that is going to happen. I spoke too soon as Schmidt goes down and then comes right back up onto the point. The Primal Rage is about to let go, and that's going to happen because he is dead. And guess what, guys? It looks like there's going to be a little bit of a stall, but maybe not. We have a champion. Reform going to win the WaWa's Boot Camp Ascension Amateur Rising tournament.
They surely have ascended, though, rose up amongst all of these other teams to come out on top as we check out this play of the game from SWCW10 once again. I mean, these divas, hello there, hide and seek peekaboo, but yeah, this diva, everybody from Team Reform popping off there, and what a well-deserved championship title.
Yeah, and something else that will be well-deserved will be our MVP. So we did this a little bit special, so what I have to say is, may I have the envelope, please? Thank you, Gil. And the MVP award goes to, that is hilarious, goes to Phaser, even though on the losing team in the end, I think the consistency was there, was really good at on Nepal, and I think it's a well-deserved match. Really good showing from Shipman as well. We're going to go ahead and risk it and show you guys what it's on this envelope.
On an extremely solemn note, folks, I mean, this is a grave occasion for Phaser. I hardly know her. And what a great way to end this community tournament. Thank you so much, WaWa's Bootcamp, for holding this. Thank you so much for all of our viewers, all of the coaches who chipped in their own time, volunteered to help these teams. And of course, our 3 sponsors for this tournament, Visor.gg, HyperX, and Origin GG.
As well as the production team and the observers. So the director back there is Coco the Dragon. Then we have Chops Hagen, Big Chips Hagen, a fan. Oris back there, as well as Keystone. Thanks for letting us watch your games and letting us be able to talk over them as well. Good participation from everybody, some really good stuff, some huge potential from all of the teams that we have seen today. I'm really excited to see what might happen in another 4 weeks.
Yeah, and a big round of applause once again for all of our viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that an owl is going on, but coming out and supporting us here in Amateur Casters, we really appreciate all of your support.
So this is Ham Tornado. You saw Gilfrost earlier delivering the envelope, and I am at Bupasaurus, and we are signing off. Thanks for watching.